Hello and welcome everyone to Women Speakers Association's WSA-TV. I'm Laura Rubenstein, your host and producer and digital media and marketing strategist, also the author of the book Social Media Myths Busted, The Small Business Guide to Online Revenue. I'm here in San Diego and you can find me online at transformtoday.com. As you can see, we have an amazing topic today. It is called Activating Your Joy and Abundance, and I have two experts here today to share about that, how to do that, how to activate your joy and abundance. So I'd like to have them introduce themselves real briefly. Hi, Gabrielle.
Hi, my name is Gabrielle Spencer. I am a business abundance activator, and I'm here with you from sunny Florida, my favorite place on earth. And you can find me online at GabrielleSpencer.com.
It's a beautiful place and great to have you. Hi, Laura.
Hi, I'm Laura Rudacille, and I'm an author and speaker, and I'm here in York, Pennsylvania, and you can find me online at laurarudacille.com.
Wonderful. So honored to have both of you here because this topic today is about really refining who we are and having what we want in our life, abundance and joy, right? So I'd like to hear from each of you your advice. And I know each of you has a special kinship to each one of those words. So Gabrielle, I thought I'd ask you about abundance. What advice do you have for people who want to activate more abundance?
To activate more abundance, you need to be in alignment within yourself with abundance. And that has to be aligned with your purpose, your passion, and what is in your life. So when things are out of alignment, it creates glitches and problems and chaos. And it's very hard to create abundance when within yourself you have emotional turmoil in any way. So that's while getting in alignment is important so that you can move forward with that confidence and determination and be able to call to you the energy and the people and the opportunities you need to be abundant.
Are there any particular action steps people can take to do that?
Yes, there are, right? There are many action steps, but the most important is being in connection with your own internal voice. And that can be really difficult for people to hear and to sort it from their mind voice, which is different. And I like to give my clients one way of deciphering which is which. Who's talking to me? Is it my gut, which is more of the fear-based, than my mind, which is more control-based, versus my higher self, which is that higher self can see out, right? And I always think of it like an airplane. You can see out in all the potential routes that are available to you. But you, from a mind place and a gut place, not so much. You're only seeing what's directly in front of you. So for the best way to know the next step for yourself is to be able to connect with your higher self, because your highest self has the best view of what is your potential. And the way for you to get there, I always think of it as that old saying of through the forest and over the ocean and climb the mountains and all that. Well, you can't do that when you're down here looking at just what's in front of you, right? You have to be able to see above and go, the fastest way over the woods and through the forest and over the bridge and all that is if I just take this leap over here and this one over here. Well, it's your higher self that knows this. And so when you connect, this is how you do it. Is this good? We'll give it to you right now. So you're going to close your eyes. I'm not a big meditator. I have 3 kids. I'm super busy. So it's fast. Give yourself 1 to 5 minutes, okay? So you close your eyes. Obviously, this means you're laying down or sitting in a comfy chair. Now, you allow your eyeballs, while your eyes are closed and they can flutter, allow your eyeballs to roll up toward your eyebrows. And if you can see me, you will see my eyelids are fluttering. Now, take a deep breath. And this allows your brain to switch from I'm in control and thinking into a theta brainwave state, which allows you to be more in tune with the other side, I called it. Okay, so when you do this, your deep breath, and in your mind, say to yourself, it is commanded that I be connected with my highest self. And for my highest self to provide me the next step I need to take to achieve, and here's where you add what that is, You may also add the directive, show me the next step. Now, until everybody gets really awesome at this, do one thing only. One thing that you're wanting to see, be shown, and get the experience of recognizing when the universe has brought that next step. Because the big thing that messes people up is, I want that red shiny convertible in my driveway. I want that, right? And then they're like, they lose faith because that big red shiny Corvette did not show up. But here's the thing, you want the next step to take toward getting that Corvette. That is what you're asking for. And your job now is to recognize when the universe provides that next piece you need to take in that journey toward that red Corvette. The better you listen, the better you recognize, because it's never going to look like what you were imagining it would. And so I tell you that because the most amazing miracles happen when you're open and receptive, and you can say, oh my God, I don't know why I'm going to do that. Doesn't actually make logical sense, but it feels right. And then you take it, and then you just short-circuited that potential journey of 6 months to the red Corvette to boom, we just got an amazing client that paid me $50,000 cash. Whoa!
Beautiful.
And then you're there.
It's great. That is a great exercise. I just did the little eye roll and just one, with you. And it really put me in a whole different space. So that's really powerful. Thank you. So I'd like to hear a little bit from Laura as well and get the take on the side of joy. So we have abundance connection activity here. And Laura, tell us what advice you have and maybe an exercise on how to tap into more joy and activating that in our lives.
Well, I am passionate about connecting women on purpose with purpose. And I think it is just such an obvious, not seen opportunity to connect with other women. We often think that we are in it by ourselves. And we think that our problem is so exclusive, and we're not really that special in that regard. The problems come packaged differently. It doesn't matter about circumstance. But when we open ourselves up and share that vulnerability, then we get that wonderful superpower of connection. So I want to encourage women to reflect on themselves gently. I often say through colored glass, stained glass, beautiful, get that magnifying glass broken and put it away. Stop scrutinizing yourself and connect with women, and you will find out that people have walked that way before you. They have insight to help you. We're often meeting survivors on the other side of big problems, and there's so much encouragement when we connect on purpose and grow in a community to be encouraged. Just be encouraged by sharing time with one another.
So if we're encouraged and we want to go from being self-critical to joy, and we have this interim, I hear that's a really good support system to connect with other women. Is there anything else when we go home at night, we're not with those women? What can we do to reinforce that energy or really take us to joy maybe faster or more?
I think Gabrielle is definitely onto a lot of things, in the sense that we are often looking too far down the road and too high up the mountain and getting discouraged before we start. So it does sound very basic, but the gratitude practice and being very mindful of the step you're in, the step you're taking, not focused on the worry and the road that's behind you, and not so anxious about what may or may not happen. Most often it doesn't. That if you can stay really, really, really present, even in your worst moment, there's something to be grateful for, and slowing down. I do topic focused retreats, and often people think that's getting on an airplane and flying somewhere really, really far away. But I really, really cultivate the pause between your inhale and your exhale. That might be all of the break you're getting today. And if you can slow down enough to just claim the pause between your breath, that's a good first step.
Awesome. What the two of you have just laid out is a roadmap to joy and abundance, right? I mean, you take, Laura, what you just said, to slow down, take a breath, focus on what you're grateful for, put women in your life who support that, and then you do this exercise, and that Gabrielle talked about for aligning yourself with your purpose, as well as, do the physical connection to, really you're disconnecting from the cycle you're in and connecting to abundance. I love this. I mean, this is a power roadmap. We're going to get to joy and abundance and activate it big time. Thank you for the wisdom. I want to know a little bit more about each of you, and who do you work with and what do you do with them and how do you activate joy more? Gabrielle.
Well, I work with businesswomen who realize that their life and business are connected, and that serving just one piece of it or concentrating on one piece leaves other parts disconnected. Mm-hmm. And abundance is about joy and happiness and peace and having the money and the fulfillment of a career that you love. And so the work that I do primarily is to energetically unlock people from their stories and from the things that have kept them in the container in which they know and love, right? That container, whatever it is, it can be a big container, but it may still keep you limited in what you are achieving, what you're thinking that your skills are useful for, all of these things that we struggle with. And then women who are corporate women that are still wanting to do awesome in corporate, but that they themselves are stymied or stuck. And for women who have their own businesses, where it's like, I have all these things and I did all the steps and I have all the stuff, but yet it's still not clicking. There's still something out of sync, out of alignment. And how do I go from here to what I wanted to create with this? Because there are a lot of business coaches that get you, here's your website, here's this, here's that. But actually the juice, which is that abundance energy behind it, hasn't happened. And so there's a disconnect there somewhere. And that's what we do, is move you through that by working on the energetic aspect of you, your heart, your spirit, and your mind, and getting you fully connected so that you can easily connect all the way. And so all of everything, your life and your business, your relationships, they all flow in the same direction. So instead of feeling like I'm spending this time on working and the sandpaper of the family or the relationship, it's keeping me from what I need to do, instead it comes all together and it creates that happiness that we all want without Beautiful. The drain.
Do you have an example of how you help someone do this?
I do. This awesome lady she's in a corporate arena, or was for many, many years, 40. And she went off and doing what she does in her own business. So she basically brings funding to large development projects. So she goes out and finds the money and the projects and brings those people together, which is really a cool job. And it's a big money job. But what happened was nothing was working. And she heard me speak and she hired me. And at the time she had $47 in her bank account. And she's like, I don't get it. I've been doing this for 40 years and I know how to do this like the back of my hand. And suddenly nothing is going, not suddenly, but so much so that everything is just on hold out here somewhere and I can't bring it into me. So we began working, and within 4 weeks for her, 2 deals that were sitting out there and had been more than a year on the shelf doing nothing, suddenly, and we can say suddenly because when you get in alignment and your own fears are released and your own worries, because worry and stress and money problems, that creates limitations. It creates a wall and a barrier that you don't even realize is actually keeping you from what you want. It's a resistance wall because you need it so badly that you're holding on like this. I need this deal to happen. But by releasing that and helping her move through it, it allowed deals that she wasn't even thinking about to come into her. Yeah. So for her, within that 4-week time, she had a $100 million deal that was out there and had been sitting out there for more than a year. And she gets 25% of that $100 million as her finder fee, right? And so she called me and she was like, you will not believe this. This is amazing. I forgot even about this deal out there. And they contacted her and it's, on its way, and, they are escrow and all this. And you're like, that's awesome. And at the same time, she's been married for 25 years. And she told me, you know what? I realize now that the issues with my husband are really about me. And now that I've been doing this work, he's not triggering me anymore. And I actually want to hang out with him. And I was like, and that's what we're talking about.
And that's true abundance, when you have the flow in your life in all areas.
Yes.
Beautiful. So Laura, tell us about the work you do and who you work with and what you do with them.
Well, my market research, as I like to say, has been 30 years in the salon industry. So there is nothing more intimate in connecting behind the salon chair and having your hands on somebody in that moment. So I was able to really have this tremendous gift of candid sharing. And I started in the industry very young. So when I hit those stumbling blocks that we all hit in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, I had this wealth of background of sharing. So the hiccups didn't hit me quite as hard. And again, realizing that women are experiencing all of these different things, you know, the heartaches, the triumphs, the stumbling blocks of just living life. And unfortunately, as Gabrielle was saying, a lot of times that makes us be guarded. And I had some impacts at 16, impacts at 20 that just made me a master builder. And I made walls that were very, very, very high. And it took a long time to realize that those walls were preventing me from growth. So the strength in that sharing really helped me to start to take down some of those obstacles for my growth and step into. So now what I really do, again, with cultivating the connection of women, is they can be encouraged by seeing women on the other side of those things and be empowered to take some stones down or put some up if they need firmer boundaries, and being able to just know that the strength that they're seeking is inside of them already. And that spiral of sharing and goodness is just infinite.
And do you do this one-on-one or retreats only, or what is
I
your...
do. I have been moving into some one-on-one, and I had a woman who just didn't realize how much she was in her own way with her frustration with a bitter divorce and, children that weren't behaving the way she expected, and just didn't realize that she was shrinking back. But again, my focus and where I think that the real magic happens is in those small groups. So I like to get to women together in 20s and 30s, and we combine that with hands-on activity, a reawakening creativity through art and music, and maybe some movement, meditation, yoga, those kinds of things, and then allow that room to have an opportunity for the downtime where the magic really happens.
Beautiful. Thank you for the great work you do as well. Again, you too provide a roadmap that is exquisite and so inspiring to just jump on and go activate your abundance and joy. I mean, you've got it right here. So I want to invite everybody to learn more from you, and the links are in the chat and all that for you in the description. So my final question is, what's brought us together as Women Speakers Associations, doing, Laura, what you talk about is having women enrich each other's lives. That's what we do here. I want to know your experience, your results. What is it that Women Speakers Association offers you? And keep it under a minute if you could. That'd be awesome. Thanks. How about you, Gabrielle?
I'm with Laura on the women community. The thing about being an entrepreneur is that generally you are by yourself working from home. And the wonderful thing about online is that there are people all over the world that you're connected with. And the great thing about Women Speakers Association is all the learning that you provide, just like in this format, but also the interconnection that is possible, the affiliates and meeting people that resonate with you and you resonate with them and you support each other, because that's how the online business community should work, is that we are supportive of one another even if we're doing the same things. There's always going to be people that resonate with one person over another, and that is okay because there's enough and more than enough for everybody. And so that for me is the biggest takeaway and the whole reason I belong to WSA, because I want those type of women business owners in my life, and that's what I'm drawing to me through this group, which is awesome.
Thank you, Gabrielle. And Laura, what is the value you're receiving from?
I think the same thing. You know, when I wrote my first book, I didn't have any other author friends. So you're just sort of this closet, you know, quietly doing what you do. So to have a community of women getting their voice heard and being very strengthened by the encouragement and the positivity and the just tremendous amount of education and candid sharing. Again, candid sharing. I mean, they're not holding anything back, the good stuff, the bad stuff, all of that together. And to be able to, for future events, to go in and search for women who are speaking on the same topics in a different way. Again, as Gabrielle said, to really, really connect with that room. You never know who's going to hear the sentence that you're saying or someone else is saying and how they'll be impacted by it. So I think it's just a wonderful community to be able to plug into and find people in the area that you didn't even know, find people that are willing to travel, and then exposure for myself and my work already, having people reach out to me, you know, where are you? How can we connect? And I did have one thing that just happened through this, was a call for writers. So I was picked up for another chapter in a collaborative effort that was rooted right here in Women Speakers Associations. I was thrilled.
Wonderful. There are so many opportunities you will get through participating in the group, whether it's offers to speak or write or connect and resources. We have it all for you, and you can join us at joinwsa.com. You can join at the free level, or you can do what Gabrielle and Laura have done, which is upgrade to the Premier level, which is really reasonable for all the value you get, and you get that in more enrichment, like Laura, you were saying, that connection with other like-minded women on a deeper level. We do provide that, and we give you opportunities like this, like Gabrielle and Laura taking advantage of, to be more visible through the network. So thank you, ladies, for joining me and being on the WSA-TV Premier show. We will be back again with you next week with another edition. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Bye.